third motion is
And you see, thy dawn's early light was so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red flare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. We'll have Cross bring the invitation and introduction of guests.
Mr. Todd, as we gather in this brother here, we are reminded of the strength that binds us together. We come from different backgrounds, professions, and beliefs, but we stand together in our identity to serve. Bless us with the wisdom of the Lord, and honestly, and our empathy, understanding, and faith. Please bring peace to the world. Bless this food and nourishment of our bodies, our bodies to your souls.
Good signal, Harold.
And now I would like to introduce newest member transferee from Corsicana. He works for Concord. He lives in Lorena. He has 2 grown horses, 24, 26. And he is very glad to not have to drive this 70 miles. Ignacio Vasquez.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Ignacio Vasquez, and I've been working for Concord for several years. For basically 12 years, I worked down in the whole Rotary area, and then I got transferred over to field workforce camp in the area. And well, should I have to, do I need to repeat that or? So you probably remember Rocket Broadway, we had over years, so I had the opportunity to basically transfer over to Waco, so I don't have to drive, from basically Laredo to Corsicana, but I'm so happy and excited to be here, and please feel free to check out my program.
We welcome you to the Waco Rotary Club. He had choices, you know, when he was transferring to Waco. There are a few other clubs in town, so we're happy that he made the right decision. We got our program back, one of my favorite programs from years and years, and that is our student guest program. We're going to be able to offer little sponsorships for the future student guests as they come up. You'll see an email about how you go about doing that with a contribution to the youth service fund. But today, our new chairman and my hero, Chris Garrett's going to bring student guests from Lavega High School.
So we've got two student guests today from Lavega High School. We've got Carly Gravitt, and then we have Daniel Lane. With them from Lavega, we have Sal Acosta. He's the early college high school counselor there at Lavega. We've got the parents, Chris and Jean Gravitt. And Jean is also the Dean of Advanced Studies there at Lavega. We have Counselor Courtney Cooks, and then we have Vanessa Soto here as the mom of Daniel. So welcome them as guests here today. First student guest that we have is Daniel Lane. Once again, Daniel attends Lavega High School. His mom is Vanessa Soto. His school activities are esports, the Overwatch team, so we might have to tell us a little bit about that. Some of his community activities that he's involved with feeding the homeless, giving out food to the neighborhood for his church. His future plans right now, he's looking to go to college and eventually become a teacher. Daniel, is there anything else you'd like to tell us about yourself, or just what is the esports? All right, might just have to use your big outside names.
The esports team is electronic sports. We have the game that I play is called Overwatch, and it is a 5-person team game. It's 5 people on one team and 5 people on another team. And there are different goals in each challenge, and you have to work together to complete that objective compared to the other team. And last year we actually made it to state and almost qualified for nationals.
Do you know which school you're looking to go to at this point? It's still a little early in the year, but you have some schools that you're interested in?
I'm thinking about going to Tarleton because I hear they have a great education program.
Well, welcome, Daniel. We're glad to have you. Yeah, there it is again. I guess they're not. No. And our next student guest is Carly Gravitt, again from Lavega High School. Her mom is Jean Gravitt, and her dad is Chris Gravitt. Her school activities include student council president, National Honor Society member, dual credit student, and is a lead program participant, which I believe lead is involved with the Waco Chamber. I think they came a couple of months ago and they talked to us about the lead program. So her community activities, she's volunteered in Toys for Tots, Shepherd's Heart Food Drive, Park Lake Baptist Church, community trunk or treats, Waco Humane Society, and several mentoring programs. Her future plans, she's looking to attend a 4-year university to major in elementary education. She's always dreamed of being a teacher and can't wait to see where the path takes her. Some other more notable things, she has a 4.0 GPA from MCC, currently in dual credit. She's currently the valedictorian of her class. Anything else you want to add?
I'm just, I don't know, I didn't realize I wrote that much. I am planning to go into elementary education. I'm so excited to be able to become a teacher. It's been my dream since I was little. I'm not sure as to where I want to go to college yet. I've definitely looked at universities in Texas, but I'm also open to traveling outside of Texas. But I just want to thank y'all for all inviting us here today.
Thank you all for coming, and enjoy the program.
Okay, here we go.
Sorry, drivers weekend. I didn't get to check them on there on time.
That's okay. That's all right. We're back in business now. I neglected earlier in the program to recognize our September birthdays. So if you were here today and I call your name, if you'll stand up, Larry can't wait to leave us and sing happy birthday. So we've got Ricky Ash, Cal Ballou, Jacob Bell, Curtis Brown, Chris Collins, Herb Cross, Michael Happerkamp, Jim Howard, Kay Paul Holt, Ryan Holt, Louis McReynolds, Andy Powell, and Dylan Smith.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Rotarians. Happy birthday to you.
What an enthusiastic birthday. Today we have our annual visit of our current district governor for District 5870. And I want you to understand that there is a lot of pain and torture, education and contributions, a lot of volunteer hours that go into this position to be recognized by our district and all the clubs in our district to elect a new leader every couple of years. So today we have our newest district governor, Todd Smith, and he's a member of the Rotary Club of Georgetown. D.G. Todd was introduced to Rotary in 2007 when he was invited to join the Rotary Club of Austin, later serving as its president. He became a passionate Rotarian during a 2014 trip to India where he administered polio drops to underprivileged children. Following a move to coastal California in 2015, D.G. Todd joined and later served as president of the Rotary Club of Monticello, California, subsequently becoming an assistant governor in District 5240. Professionally, after having worked as a freelance producer in the motion picture industry, D.G. Todd works in his Rotary spare time as a residential real estate broker and mobile notary. He lives in Georgetown, has 2 grown and married sons, 1 grandchild, and last but least 2 adorable adopted pups, Buster and Pumpkin. I present to you District Governor Doug Smith.
We were chuckling up here. Mr. Governor Doug Smith, that was last year's guy. But Todd Smith is my name. And so, anyway, I've been following in his exhaust ever since like 2 or 3 years ago. And even today, I still am. So we can't wipe the slate clean. But thank you all. I appreciate the warm welcome and thank you all for being here today. It really is my honor and privilege to serve as district governor. For those that are perhaps unfamiliar with the Rotary organization, we have 55 Rotary clubs that comprise a district, and along with another 4 Rotaract clubs, we have 59 clubs in total that make up a district. And my job not only is to absolutely, with a team of talented individuals, we support the clubs and the things that they try to do. And that's our only job, is to support the clubs. But I have to support all 59 of them, and one of the
peculiarities of the job is I have to visit each and every one. And so here I am today, and I'm delighted to be here. I'm delighted to be here, especially when you guys are introducing Ignacio, who I happen to know from the Corsicana Club days, and it's nice to see you here. You're joining a good club, so good to see you, Ignacio. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I want to really come and talk to you today about something that is very, very important to me, and that is, as I've gone around with previous district governors, including Doug Smith, and I would visit each of those clubs with him and Bob Crouch before that, I started to notice some things that were going on in clubs that were either trends or high spots, that best practices that some clubs are doing and some are not. And I really kind of compiled that into basically what my thoughts are to deliver a message to you and every one of the other clubs in this district this year. And I figured out, at least in my own assessment, that there is absolutely one thing that makes the difference between a good club and an absolutely irresistible, absolutely magnetic club. And I think that we as Rotarians need to refresh our memory banks on what was the passion that ignited in you when you first, not just heard about Rotary, but when you discovered Rotary and you said, you know what, that's an organization I want to get involved in. Think about that for a second. For some of you in the room, it might be just a year, a couple months. Some of you, it might be 20, 30 years. And thank you for still being around, because that means that your passion is still alive for this organization. But in many clubs around the district, some of the members have forgotten what that passion was. And I'm here to talk about it and hopefully encourage you to reignite that passion. One of the things that happened 3-4 years ago, we all know that lovely thing called COVID came in and just wreaked havoc on our organization. And what I have heard, though, for the last couple of years is that COVID is to blame for everything that's going on in their club or that is not going on in their club. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I suggest to you, COVID's back there. It is time actually for us to kind of move on and move forward. And one of the things that we have actually gotten away from, thanks to COVID perhaps, and I'm talking as a district as a whole, we have gotten away from the habit of inviting prospective members to our organization. Because what did you do during COVID? You want to come to a Zoom meeting? Woo, that's fun. No, seriously. We've gotten out of the habit of actually thinking about, wait a minute, is that a person I should invite to Rotary? And then act on that. We have gotten out of the habit. And so I would encourage you to think about now this second thing. One, what was the passion that you felt that made you want to join this organization in the very first place? And then two, do you have what it takes to actually ask another person to come to your club? These are not big questions, but they're deep ones. And I would encourage some thoughtful consideration of each of those things. Passion sometimes comes in the form of big, gigantic things. And as was mentioned in my introduction, I had an opportunity right before, 6 months before I was going to become president of the Austin Downtown Club. I had an opportunity to go to India for about 3 weeks. And we went on a mission trip to actually, there was a lot of sightseeing. I won't deny that. It was fun in that regard, but also we worked. And we were there to deliver the drops of polio. That this organization has been waging that war on that disease for 40 years now. 40 years ago, we were seeing 350,000 cases of polio a year. This year, at last count, there have been 28. 28. So we're really getting close. But I know that there are a lot of folks that don't understand why we are still emphasizing polio. But that's because at the time that it was adopted as a cause for Rotary, we made very loudly and proudly a promise to the world, a promise to the children of the world, that we would not forget them. They were going to be free of this disease as long as Rotary was in the game. We are still in the game, ladies and gentlemen. And when I went to India, one of the things that we did is we were divvied up into groups of 30, along with some translators and whatnot, and we were assigned a quadrant of a slum to go through. Tough territory, actually. No sanitary facilities whatsoever, really no workable utilities. I mean, when nightfall came, you got out of there. The place was hot, it was cramped, it was crowded. But we persevered and we went through. And what we were doing is we were handing out flyers, inviting the parents to bring their children under the age of 5, bring them to, it was an assembly point, it was a soccer stadium, in a couple of days. But we did this for 2 days, so it was on the 3rd day they came. And we were trying to get them to come get the drops. Save your children from the ravages of this disease. And the message got through because after doing this for 2 solid days, we were then sent to the soccer stadium where we were going to administer the drops. And what those parents had to do was bring that flyer with them. And unbeknownst to any of us, those flyers were color-coded. And so when they brought the flyers, they were put into various stacks based upon color. And on that 3rd day, my team, who had handed out those yellow flyers, we collected 1,500 of them back. That means at least one, if not more than one child of those 1,500 flyers came and got the drops of polio. That is absolutely the reason why I continued in Rotary. It's why I continue to serve others. It's why I continue to lead. It is absolutely my passion in Rotary is to support and get rid of this disease once and for all. I've seen it firsthand with the polio victims. Oftentimes it's referred to as survivors, but quite honestly, they're victims, folks. I've also been in a factory where they created artificial limbs. Total cost, $11 for an artificial leg. Total cost. And why our clubs aren't more involved in supporting something like that, which provides absolute benefit, I don't understand, but I know that in my heart, that's where my support goes. But Rotary is big like that as far as attacking certain issues like polio. So that gave me my passionate moment, my moment where I became not just a club member and future club president, where I became a Rotarian thinking through. There's also the times when you see things and you observe them, you go, you know what, that matters. That's also a moment where you can discover your own passion. But think about maybe the first time you have a student, young student, maybe in elementary school, and you give him or her their very first book of their own. You ever seen someone cradle that book like, oh, they're not going to let it go? That's a passionate moment, and you had something to do with that. The next thing that you might remember is maybe you're mentoring a child in school. And that student who has been struggling with self-identity or self-worth issues suddenly comes into their own and they start percolating. And it's like, yeah, I had something to do with that. That's a moment of your passion in action. And the types of things that become passion. Passion changes just ideas, it changes things into impact. It is why this year I chose to have a district theme of engage with passion. And it's also why on my shirt here, there's a passion flower staring you in the face. Because I want you to absolutely remember what was that passion that got you into Rotary. And let's reignite that. Let's come back to it and let's invigorate our clubs, our activities. When we invigorate things like our membership socials, when we invigorate our service projects with bold ideas, it isn't just something that does good things for our members. It does good things to attract other members. This is where Rotary really thrives, is when your passion engages in the things that we do and we go out and we change lives. As Rosemary mentioned, yes, there was a lot of training and leadership development. I guess I had to go to remedial school or whatever. But they put us through a lot of training over the 3 years since I was actually announced to be district governor. And that last thing that we went to was a week long in Orlando, Florida, with all of the other district governors-elect. This was last February. All of us came to Orlando, Florida to listen to Rotary execs, talk to one another, cross-plan different activities between districts, all kinds of things. But the most important thing for me that week was when the Rotary International president got up, as is tradition, and normally presidents have always called out presidential themes. Our president-elect at the time stood up and said, "I'm not doing a theme." Instead, because themes can be interpreted a variety of different ways, he said, what I'm doing is I am issuing a call to action. And that call to action, ladies and gentlemen, is right here on this banner, and it says unite for good. That is a command. It's a call to action. As was mentioned in your invocation, coming together and uniting for good is essential. And just think about it. If each of us individually were to uncover that passion inside of each of us, and then we come together, just imagine what the Rotary Club of Waco could actually do if it wanted to. But I think it would happen systemically because that is a combustible activity. The Rotary, your passion, actually, I should say, supports something even bigger than this club. It supports the good work of the Rotary Foundation. The Rotary Foundation is absolutely the fuel that makes our organization able to do the good work that it does. It provides opportunities for international projects, global grant projects that we do. By the way, I don't know if you realize it or not, but you don't actually have to sponsor and do all the heavy lifting work in the global grant. But for $100, you can actually be a partner club in sponsoring of an international project. It's called Global Grant Light, pretty much. It's like dip your toes in the water and see how it goes and learn and see how this project actually unfolds. We have something, just got an email this morning actually about a project going on in Ghana. Knew nothing about it, but learned a lot about it today because we get frequent update reports. But, so the Rotary Foundation supports global grants, and that may mean very little to you. Sometimes in clubs, they don't care about working the international angle, but the Rotary Foundation also brings money home to our district. You've heard of DAP grants, the District Assistance Project grants. That's where the money that you've given 3 years later comes back and gets allocated out to the club so you can do projects in your local community. That's something that this club hasn't been taking advantage of in at least the last year, and it's a missed opportunity because it's money that you rightfully have access to. That's something I would suggest we have a further conversation about with your club leadership. The other thing that it does is it actually brings scholarships right here back to your community if you participate. And you haven't recently, but we have career and technical education scholarships, $5,000 scholarships for students who are pursuing 2-year degrees, not a 4-year degree, but a 2-year degree or certificate program. Rotary has these scholarships, and I'm putting the bug in our 2 students' ears right now. We have these scholarships. We've already issued them for this year, and that's okay, but they're opening up early next spring for the following distribution. So that's money that comes right back, and it doesn't actually have to go just for tuition or books. We had a young lady about 3 years ago. She was a nursing student, but she was a single mother. And so the funds that have used to put her through, and she applied at the start of her 2nd year. And and she was probably 32. It's not just for high school or college-age students. She applied her second year, and she used the money for her daycare. That got her to be able to go complete her nursing program. And if you had been a part of that at the time, you can actually say you changed a life with that. That's where Rotary is coming back to you. Another way that it's coming back to you is something that we're doing for the first time this year, and we call it Service Texas Day. Service Texas Day is going to be a single day of service that I am inviting each and every club in the district. I'm inviting, I'm not requiring, I'm inviting each and every club in the district to participate in some act of service on Saturday, March 28, 2026. And I'm going to give this to you in a little handout at the end of today's talk. But the Service Texas Day, we're encouraging you to come up with something that you want to do for your community. Because if you are passionate about it, and your club is passionate about it, and your community is passionate about it, it's going to be a very successful and relevant project. We're going to support it from the district level with not only supplying you with press release templates and other promotional materials, but we're also going to be using our own media context to talk about the 59 points around the state of Texas that we're doing great work on one single day. If we want to talk about getting the word out about the good stuff that Rotary does, this is going to be one of those opportunities. I think we do a pretty good job of telling stories, but to ourselves. And so what I want to see is us telling the story outside, and we have to create basically a newsworthy event after talking with television reporters and news desks to find out what would get their attention. This is what we came up with, and I would encourage you all to think about participating in some way on Saturday, March 28th, Service Texas Day. Funds from the Rotary Foundation will be helping to support some of the costs of that event. And the last thing, which I'm also going to give you, is funds from the Rotary Foundation, our district conference, which you all hosted a couple years ago, just a couple years ago. This year, it's going to be on a cruise ship. We're going to be on Royal Caribbean, sailing out of Galveston. We're going to go down to Cozumel. We're going to have lots of fun activities and opportunities to lollygag and do nothing. But we're also going to offer some opportunities to participate in service projects that are aligned with Rotary's 7 areas of focus. So we're going to do that a little bit, have some fun on the way down to Cozumel. We're going to do, you have the option of participating in some of the service projects in Cozumel. We're going to be looking at either 2 or 3. And then we'll come back. It's a 4-day cruise. It's at the end of April, April 23rd through 27th. And we already have 110 people signed up just by going around and talking to them about like this, because it's a real easy sign-up process. You don't even have to know the first thing about cruising, because all we ask for is a name and a way to reach you. And I have Rotarian travel operators who own a cruise consultancy up in the Dallas area. We've hired them to basically call you, talk to you about the ship, talk to you about the itinerary, the meal programs, the amenities, and everything. They are your concierge. And so it's concierge type travel for exactly the same cost as if you were to go online and try to find the cruise. No difference in price, whatever, they'll price match everything. So there's some things that Rotary money is coming back to that as well to help fund the service projects. So participation in the foundation is something, we don't have to think about it internationally. We can think about it here, or we can think about it in total. Because most clubs find the biggest bang for their buck with their recruiting members is they talk about the fact that we can do stuff here as well as around the world. And I think that's a great message about Rotary. Let's talk one other thing, and that is about passion and how it exudes into membership. This is, again, about you and your passion. And it is also about engaging with passion, because the theme for the year is engage with passion. Very succinctly, we do a great job as a district bringing people to the front door and introducing them to Rotary. In fact, we had over 400 people come into our district last year. But the back door is even open more widely. We had 400, must be 450 some odd. We lost about 56 members last year. So We recruited a whole bunch, but we lost even more. And the hardest part, ladies and gentlemen, that I find to swallow, but it certainly points to the answer and the solution, is the majority, well, the 51% of the people that actually leave our organization do so within the first 3 years that they're in the organization. First 3 years. So what that tells me is recruiting that we used to focus on, doing a pretty good job. Retention, not so good. But retention is such a big beast to get down into specifics. I say in the middle of that, that is engagement. When we have members coming into our organization and we don't give them responsibility and respect and support them in their endeavors to get them plugged into Rotary, we may as well not have recruited them in the first place. So that is the key that I'm emphasizing and ask you to think about as you bring members into the organization. Get them engaged. Everybody joins for some reason. And I bet if I really got detailed with each of you, I would ask you, did you join just to come and have lunch? Probably not. You probably wanted to make a difference. You wanted to make an impact. Because that's what a Rotarian heart typically wants to do. And I would like for you to think positively about the theme. We want to engage with passion. As I mentioned when I was, I need to get my notes here. As I mentioned when I was at that conference in February with all the other district governors-elect, the president-elect in his address said some words that I wanted to share with you today before I close. What he said was, we are Rotarians. We unite for good because we do good stuff. He says our product is service. Our raw materials are our members. Our members fuel our resources, and it's our resources that generate our impact. Product is service, raw materials, members fuel our resources, and it's our resources that generate our impact. Makes it very succinct about us as an organization, in my opinion. So what I'd like to do is to close with a couple of things and ask you, at least from this day forward, to consider engaging with Rotary with P-A-S-S-I-O-N. P is for purpose. Know why you serve. Everyone in this room needs to ask that question of themselves. A is for action. Do the work that actually needs doing. There's a lot of riffraff out there and so forth, but think about what that straight line, what do you as an individual, what do you as a club want to accomplish? Do the action that needs doing. S is for sincerity. Care deeply about the impact that you make. And S is also for strategy, to plan your action with vision and urgency. Don't just tiptoe into the fire. Jump. I is for impact. Rotary's #1 word. Impact. Make change that lasts. None of this temporary stuff, the short term. We want to make change that lasts. O, the hardest word in Rotary. Not many folks want to actually do this, but O is for open-mindedness. And embrace fresh ideas and bold solutions. Be open-minded about things. And then N, absolutely, the most important word in Rotary is to nourish. Nourish these future rising stars in your club and organization. Nourish the youth of tomorrow. They're going to be future leaders in Rotary at some point, we hope. But those that are in your organization, lift them up, elevate them, get them to serve and have a role that is vital and creates impact in your organization. I mentioned that, sorry, I'm pulling something up on my phone. place I seem to have it written down. I mentioned my one passion, one of my Rotary passions is polio. The other one is a habit, a nasty habit that I've had for decades, but I'm a hack poet. And instead of giving speeches, I much prefer to write poems, but I was told that to do a 20-minute talk in front of the Rotary Club of Waco, they would never last. But so I'm giving you a poem that I've written a poem for each and every club of the district, based upon what I've learned about you, what I know about you, what I've gone through the historical archives to additionally learn about you, and it's only 3 verses, so you can stay away from that. But, and I call it Torchbearers of Waco. It's a tribute to Club 74. And it says, in Waco's heart, where rivers bend, a torch was lit by civic friends. Since 1913, they've held it high, with coffee, wit, and suits and tie. They serve, they lead, they sometimes tease, and still make quorum with surprising ease. They've built up parks and funded dreams, awarded youth with hopeful gleams, scholarships and baseball fields. Their service never softly yields. They joke, they vote, and they pass the plate, then fix the world before it's too late. So here's to Rotary, bold and bright, their legacies a guiding light. They lift up Waco year by year with purpose, pride, and hearty cheer. So if you seek meaning, joy, and grace, you'll find it in this torch-lit place. So, thank you. So, if you made it all the way around, I'm going to run very quickly through a couple of activities that are on the calendar. We'd love to have you involved as much as you can engage. One is coming up on September 20th at Southwestern University in Georgetown is the District Peace Conference. It's a conversation with acclaimed authors and other speakers that are coming together to have some of those difficult conversations that we in our society today are challenged having, and we're trying to find ways to have those conversations. So the District Peace Conference is Saturday. It's online registration. It'll be from about 9 till about 3, including a nice luncheon. But would encourage you to consider that. December 27th, this trip is already filled up, but we are going over the Christmas break to Pasadena, California to decorate the Rotary Rose Parade float. Rotary's had a float in there for almost 90 years, and we're going to go decorate. We just got our decorating slots this past weekend, and that trip is full, but I'm sure there'll be lots of stories and fun stuff coming out about that. The Foundation Gala, which is held every year, is going to be in Round Rock, Texas, at the Embassy Suites Hotel, where we celebrate those of you who participate and support the Rotary Foundation. It's going to be kind of a pretty magical evening. Service Texas Day, as I mentioned, is on March 28th. Information is on that particular web page. And again, we're inviting clubs to participate. I hope that you would take it under consideration to participate. And then the District Conference and Service Cruise is going to be April 23rd through 27th out of Galveston. And again, that particular website will get you information on that, and you can fill out about a 4-question form and just get information, no obligation. But so far, everybody has been signing up as quickly as they can, so I would encourage you. We'd love to see you, actually. We'd love to increase the participation from this part of the district, and certainly we'd love to have you. I don't know what time you have, if we're probably exhausted time, but if there's questions or whatever, I'd be happy to take them. Otherwise, thank you very much. I appreciate your attention. I've been reminded that along with the Doug Smith introduction, Rosemary neglected to introduce District Governor-elect Jeff Coleman. following me next year, and then following Jeff is District Governor nominee Rod Henry from the Waco, the Temple.
Thanks so much for that inspiring message. I'll just remind the board members that we're going to have a meeting with Todd right after our meeting today, so don't go away. In addition to that, I went back and looked, and it says Todd on this paper that I read his introduction, so I don't know how it does come down my mouth. I knew it was Todd, okay? Yes, that's right, exactly right. I want to re-welcome our two Rotary guests today. We do have applications if you have an interest and would like to join us on a regular basis. We appreciate that. Hats off to Lalega for being our first student guest this year. We wish you luck, and we hope that one of these days when you're teaching those classes of kiddos, you'll have time to join our Rotary Club and continue the mission. We support you very much. And Sal, it is always a pleasure to see you. He's been around at Lalega about as long as I've been around at Waco Rotary, and we go through scholarship programs and student guests and all kinds of activities. So we appreciate that. Our next meeting is September the 22nd. Philip Patterson, President of Ascension Providence, will bring our program. Remember, board members stay for the meeting after this. So now we'll stand for the four-way test. The truth.
Fair, all concerned, with a little goodwill and better friendship, will be beneficial to all concerned.
Rotary is adjourned.